10-15 seconds. I think audio, I don't know where audio is.
Ready?
Its echo is coming, so I think.
Yeah, you just say done. What is this? Go back to.
Oh, sure.
Oh, use. Get rid of this.
See where to mute the audio, and I don't know if it is streaming now.
This is Zoom.
What's this? Is it different?
Yeah.
Let's see. It's streaming now. Which
But I think it was echoing too back.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh, just pausing it.
Yeah, pause.
Sorry.
You ready?
Yes,
Yes.
Maharaj.
A little tricky.
Hare Krishna, my dear devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All glories to His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Today we're hearing from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8, verse number 6. And this verse says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam Yajat ante kalevaram tam tam ivaiti konteya sadatat bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. My dear devotees, it's a very important verse. If we take special attention to this, pay special attention to this verse, this is going to determine what's going to happen to us at the moment of death. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The process of changing one's nature at the critical moment of death is here explained. A person who at the end of his life quits his body thinking of Krishna attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. But it is not true that a person who thinks of something other than Krishna attains the same transcendental state. This is a point we should note very carefully. How can one die in the proper state of mind? Maharaja Bharata, although a great personality, thought of a deer at the end of his life. And so, in his next life, he was transferred into the body of a deer. Although as a deer, he remembered his past activities, he had to accept that animal body. Of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life, one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. If one is transcendentally absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore, chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. Well, if we understand this one verse and the purport, that's it. That's the perfection of life. This is how powerful Vedic knowledge is. One verse and one purport, if you follow it the rest of your life, you will attain perfection. That's how powerful Vedic literature is. You don't have to read big, fat books. You can attain the real purpose of life with this one verse and one purport. So let's read it again. Text 6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Tijat ante kalevaram. Tam tam evaiti konteya salatad bhava bhavita. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Well, if you remember your dog at the moment of death, guess what happens? You become a dog next life. A lot of people do that. When you have a dog, you have to take care of the dog all the time. And the relationship that evolves between the dog and the dog's master is very intimate. And the person has a dog, they have to take the dog out to exercise the dog, they have to get special food for the dog. If the dog gets sick, they have to take the dog to the veterinarian. Sometimes the dog has to get an operation. So, and the dog has its, you have to feed the dog several times during the day. If you go on vacation, you have to have someone to take care of the dog. So basically the dog takes at least 30% or more of your time, maybe more than that. Some people sleep with the dog. They let the dog sleep in the same bed that they have. That's how much attachment they have to the dog. They love the dog more than people. They think the dog is more loyal than people. And the dog, obviously, when it sees its master, starts jumping up and down, and his tail starts wagging, and is very happy to see. And then he starts licking the person's face. But actually, what he's thinking is, as he's licking the face of his master, one day I will eat you also. Yeah, because he's a carnivorous animal. If the master of the house or the lady of the house dies, it's happened before. The dog started eating the master of the house. So it's not a good idea to have a dog. Now, some people say it's necessary this way or that way, but it's not really absolutely necessary. Maybe for some people, but if you have a dog, there's a very good chance that you remember the dog at the moment of death. And guess what? You become a dog in your next life. So that's why this verse says, and this verse is very, very important. Whatever state of being one remembers, when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So if throughout our life we've been chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamudra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, as much as possible. Prabhupada says that we should chant all the time, and we try to do that, so that at the moment of death, which is the most important moment in the life of a human being, if all our life we've been chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then there's a very good chance that we will remember Krishna's name and recite it and go back to God. If our main, let's say, preoccupation is the stock market, or our main preoccupation is pornography, or our main preoccupation is gambling, whatever, what are you going to think about at the moment of death? You're going to think about what you were most attached to, most involved with. So it's very dangerous to have a dog. It's very dangerous to have bad habits. It's very dangerous to engage in sinful activities, because that's what you're going to flash before your eyes at the moment of death. All the sex a person had, or all the money that they made, or the car that they have that they're very attached to, or the house that they have that they're attached to, or the cat. So we have to be very careful. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. That's why Prabhupada recommends constant chanting of the holy names of the Lord. In fact, that's what he says. If one is transcendentally absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. And in the previous verse, also, it was said
Yeah, the previous verse specifically says, if we remember Krishna, then we attain his nature.
Yeah. And then it says, there may be so many impediments for a person who's chanting Hare Krishna. Nonetheless, tolerating all of these impediments, one should continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, so that at the end of one's life, one can have the full benefit of Krishna consciousness. What's the full benefit of Krishna consciousness? You go back to Godhead eternally. So here we have two verses, and in both verses, it says that we should always chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Prabhupada says it's the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. Well, what state of being do we want to change to? We want to have a spiritual body, not a material body, and go back to the spiritual world. That's the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. It's pretty straightforward, and Prabhupada is not mincing his words. He's saying what is the truth. If we want to have a successful life, you're not going to have a successful life by thanking your dog at the moment of death. In fact, you shouldn't even have a dog. All they do is contaminate the house. People sleep with the dog. The dog passes stool and urine. Dog eats meat. That's another thing about the dog. At least the cow doesn't eat meat. If you want a pet, get a cow. You can get a miniature cow like we have. A cow doesn't eat meat, but the dog eats meat. He's carnivorous. And he's not nice. I mean, if somebody comes to the door and starts barking, who is it? Get away, Woof. So we have to be very careful about dogs, cats, and so forth as pets. They shouldn't be pets because they're going to take your mind away from Krishna, especially the dog. Some people swear by the dog. Their whole life centers around the dog. What's going to happen to them? At the moment of death, they're going to think of the dog. Okay, so Prabhupada says, therefore the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. But what does it mean by changing one's state of being? It means that you get a spiritual body and you go back to the spiritual world. That's the best, let's say, destination of the jiva, of the living entity. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Any dog lovers out there that want to argue with me about it? Okay, I see we don't have any dog lovers listening.
You probably dropped off.
People dropped off?
No, whoever is the dog lover, then we have dropped off.
Okay, text number 7. Tasmat sarve sukalesu mam anusmara yudhita. Maya harpita mano buddhir mam ivaishyasi asamsaya. This is one of my best favorite verses.
Mhm.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, listen very carefully. This is very important to hear this purport. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Why? Because Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it says Yuga Dharma Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the Yuga Dharma. This is the recommended way that everybody in this age of Kali Yuga, of hypocrisy and quarrel, one can make genuine spiritual advancement by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is recommended in the Shastra. And that's what Prabhupada says here. He said it in the previous verse, and says it in this verse. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. And in the previous verse, he also said it. One should continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, so that at the end of one's life, one can have the full benefit of Krishna consciousness. So guess what he is emphasizing over and over again? This Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the Yuga Dharma, the recommended way by which all of us can make tangible spiritual advancement and easily go back to Godhead by chanting Hare Krishna, eating only Krishna Prasadam, regularly hearing classes about Krishna, and going on Sankirtan and chanting the holy names of the Lord in public, and so forth. This should be the culture. Culture means how you do things. So when you do things according to Krishna consciousness, they are all meant to please Krishna, all the activities. We don't eat meat, we don't have illicit sex, we don't gamble, we don't eat, we don't, no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication, we don't take any intoxicants. And we're always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and we're trying to do good to others. That's the culture of Krishna consciousness. And that culture is very, very successful. It makes yourself happy and it makes everybody else happy. So we have to take this seriously, this regular and uninterrupted chanting. The Hare Krishna mantra should be in our mind 24 hours a day. And some of those 24 hours, we should chant it out loud. And other times, we can continue chanting it, but in the mind. Therefore, it says, chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. What does that mean? Changing one's state of being. It means you get a spiritual body and you go back to the spiritual world. That's the greatest benefit anyone could ever have. To be able to go back to the spiritual world with a spiritual eternal body and be in the association of Krishna and all great devotees. We should take this seriously. This is not something that's made up. This is not something that's, let's say, a fake on promise. No, this is the truth. This is the gospel truth. By chanting Hare Krishna as much as you can, even 24 hours a day, as much as you can, and being able to remember Krishna, especially at the moment of death. In other words, if you're not chanting all the time, you're not going to be able to remember Krishna at the moment of death. No way. You have to be chanting your whole life to be able to remember Krishna at the moment of death and chant Hare Krishna. That's why Prabhupada said that we have to chant at least 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. What is it? 1,700 times saying the mantra, is it? Or 1,700 times saying the name of Krishna.
Mhm.
And that's the minimum. There's no maximum. You can go on way past 16 rounds and chant 64 rounds or more than that if you want. And people do that, as many people, when they go to Vrindavan, they're older, and they give up working and things like that, they just chant. And also in Vrindavan, you'll see ladies who are widows, and they're just chanting all day long in Vrindavan, which is the most holy place. Well, we can also chant all the time here, also in Seattle. And we're trying to do that also, chanting as much as we can. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Why? Because this Hare Krishna mantra is the Yuga Dharma. It is the recommended way to make spiritual advancement in this age of Kali Yuga. It's the only mantra that can be said correctly in this age. So all these pundits that are chanting all kinds of mantras, none of them are being chanted correctly. There's only one mantra that can be chanted correctly in Kali Yuga, and that is Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when you hear these pundits chanting so many different mantras, basically, they are wasting their time. But if they chant only Hare Krishna, like Haridas Thakur, what did he chant? Did he chant all those mantras that the so-called pujaris chant? No, he was only chanting Hare Krishna, and he went back to Godhead. So take the best and leave the rest. The best is always chanting Hare Krishna and giving up all sinful activities. Then you'll make tangible spiritual progress. Okay, so any questions, comments? Any questions or comments? Okay, no questions, no comments, no answers. So we'll go on to the next text 7. Tasmat sarve sukalis. Mam anusmara yudyacha. Maya pita mano buddhir.
You just covered that verse also.
Mam ivasisi samsaya. Well, I'll just read it again, and then we'll end because time is up. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them and at the same time Think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's names, one will be transferred to the supreme planet, Krishna Loka, without a doubt. Wow, that eliminates all doubts now. Without a doubt. They can go back to God if we take up this chanting seriously. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, my dear devotees. You see, Krishna consciousness is not complicated. It's very simple, but it's very profound at the same time. Simply chant Hare Krishna sincerely for the rest of your life, and you go back to Godhead. What could be better than that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Haribol. Thank you very much. And please chant Hare Krishna tonight, tomorrow, and for the rest of your life. Haribol.
Hare
Hare Krishna.